Vladi Lifestyle, a coach Vlad from Modern Hero Body, and welcome to today's Mentorship Monday. Today was a crazy day, and to be honest, I'm hopping this call unusual late, but I'm still here to show up. I'm showing up to myself every day, and I'm showing up to my clients, to my community daily, and I'm not gonna miss. Seriously, I've been doing every day YouTube daily lives for the last 18 days, and I'm here, guys, to show up. All right, so today I have the topic that actually really has been on my mind for quite some time, and I heard a couple different podcasts about it, and I wanted to reflect on this with you. And the topic for today's conversation is you are what you consume. And today, alive today, Hirashi, hey man. So friends, today we're gonna talk about you are what you consume. We're gonna reflect on this on a couple different sides of the coin. Of course, number one is nutrition, right? Your food, right? So you are what you consume, you are what you eat, and that reflects everything in your life. Seriously, nutrition, you heard probably the most important, seriously, 80% of your results in fitness can be made with nutrition. Strength training, yeah, it's really important for building muscle, for longevity. I call it muscle, it's a longevity organ. And yeah, of course, lifting weights, moving your body, cardiovascular system, doing some cardio, all of that important, but you cannot outwork a bad diet. And this is so true. And trust me, as a coach with 10 years of experience, I can tell you that I've been testing it with all my clients, with myself, and you cannot look at all the proof right here, right behind me. All of these transformations didn't happen without proper nutrition. You cannot outwork a bad diet, and this is the fact. Whoever else tells you that, yeah, you can still wiggle it, you can have yo-yo diet as long as you work hard at the gym, they full of BS, my friends. You cannot outwork a bad diet, and this is the fact. So you are 100% what you consume. And let's talk about food first. Like I said, I have two sides of the coin for this. So you are what you consume nutrition wise. Abs made in the kitchen, probably heard about this. If you want to build muscle, you want to eat enough protein, you want to stay in maybe if you're hard gainer, you want to stay in caloric surplus. If you want trying to lose body fat, that's majority of people what they need to do. It's all about staying in caloric deficit, my friends. Seriously, this is the fact. Calories in versus calories out still works and will work no matter what. I know for some people, maybe one person out of 100 with the like hormonal imbalance and everything, or some really like unique disease can be something that needs to be checked. Even if you're eating right, it still cannot lose weight, for example. But for majority of people, seriously, it's all about dialing in your nutrition, calories in versus calories out, that will do the job. Seriously, that's where magic happens. But also it's all about quality, guys. Quality over quantity, right? So what you're consuming, it's not only about just eating whatever fits in your calories. Those flexible diets, I've done those too, and trust me, when you start focusing on quality, you don't even care about the sugar anymore when you invest in high quality food, when you're consuming the right food, high protein, we're talking about salmon, steak, chicken, vegetables. When you're drinking quality water, filtered water, seriously, all of that will impact who you are, your face. You'll start glowing. You're not gonna have your skin is gonna stop breaking up like it happens to a lot of people, right? So seriously, by fixing your diet, there's so much can change. Your skin will glow. You'll have much more energy. Seriously, you can still be in caloric deficit, but if you're eating donuts and pizza all day long, then my friend, of course, you're gonna feel like crap. Seriously. So it's all about you are what you consume, and it's really important. I hope you understand that quality of food really matters. Like I said, it's not going to only impact your inside out, but also your skin, right? So you look yourself in the mirror, You look good, you feel good, but also your skin, your hair, your nails. So all of that is really, really important when you dial in into nutrition. But also another side of the coin is you are what you consume for your brain, right? It's also really important. And I see nowadays with all the social media uh, distractions, it's so hard to stay focused, right? It is hard. And when you're consuming the wrong things for your brain, that also becomes a big, big problem. So not only you are what you consume food wise, right? Your food, your nutrition, it's really, really important. Hydration there, but also thank you, Filippo. I appreciate your feedback. Hello, guys. Hello, George. Guys, hello, everyone. Happy birthday, Kira Santos. But yeah, guys, but yeah, food, right? So you are what you consume. About food, it is really important. And I hope you understand this one thing seriously. You are a fancy car. You are Porsche. You're a Lamborghini. Would you put the regular, unleashed, diesel or gas into the Porsche? No, you're not, right? You would put high premium gas in your Porsche, in your Lamborghini. So the same thing about your body. Your body is a sport car. So treat it this way. Put the premium fuel in your car, in your body. So you are what you consume, right? That's why you gotta be really picky and focused on quality, guys. Quality over quantity. Seriously, I'd rather invest a good solid $10, $15 in steak, and I would feel guilty, to cheat on that steak and eat some pizza because it's just in there in the fridge, I'll have just to cook it and eat the quality food, and I know I'm gonna feel amazing after that. So when you start investing, when you start investing in high quality food, you're less likely is gonna be prioritizing some processed food, because like I said, it feels like cheating. If you invested that much money, $10, $15, I know for a lot of you, for me too, it's a lot of money. So when you start investing in your nutrition, in quality food, it just becomes just part of the nature, and you're like, I'm not gonna cheat on the food that I'm buying because I'm buying expensive food. Why would I cheat with the cheap stuff, with the pizza, with those donuts? Like I said, treat your body like a sport car. You'll never put in your Porsche the cheapest gas, right? So the same with your body. Imagine you with this thing you for the rest of your life. So why not to treat it as a sport car? All right. So number one, consume quality food, but also consume quality information, my friends. Nowadays, I think there's so much, distractions with all the OnlyFans and more stuff, all the funny prank. And don't get me wrong, it's still okay to watch something funny. I'm following not OAF, not OnlyFans, but something fun. Yeah, God is good, God is great. I totally agree with that. But also there's so much unnecessary information, there's so much water there, that when you just plug your brain into that energy, that's what you become, seriously. And I think really, really important to know what you're Tavor, exactly. Meditation, yoga really can help you. I agree. But also what you're consuming for your brain, right? What you're consuming for your body, it's really important about food, but also the information you're consuming, who you're speaking to, who you're listening to. So are you have those negative friends or family members who always, complain about something, always just drag you down, like that bucket of crabs, when the one crab trying to get out of a bucket, the rest of the crabs, and it's always happens, the rest of them trying to pull him down back in the bucket. So do you have those friends or family members in your life who just drags you down and with all the negativity and all the bad news? Or you have friends or people who wants you to level up, who wants you to succeed? So there's a little hack for you. I don't have a lot of friends in my life. I have a couple good friends that I, talk here and there, but all I find, my mentors, the energy, what I'm taking off, it's from the mentors, from the books, Literally, I listen to podcasts, and I consider those people who I listen, like Bedros Koulian, his podcast, and I consider those people my mentors. Seriously, I consider them my friends. That's why I love doing this live like this. I hope you can get something out of this. I probably need to maybe start doing some podcasts. But when I listen to those people, has some wisdom in there, has experience in their life, and they share in that, I consider them my friends. And that's when you start consuming, guys, you become the one. I love this quote: when you hang out around two smokers, you become the third. And when you hang out around two millionaires, you become the third. So it's the same here. It's all about circle of people who are around you, right? So I want you this week, after this call, reflect and see where your negativity comes from. Do you have any negativity in your life? Because yeah, let's be honest, all the news, 90% of the news, always negative. Why? Because the negativity attracts all those people, who just love to sit in all the negativity. But do you really need that? Of course, no. That's why I never watch news unless like something really crucial, something important. I never watch news because it's almost always 90% negativity. Are you listening to your friends who's always negative, or your family members who's always negative? I hope not. Or if yes, then maybe it's time right now to reconsider those relationship and start just plugging yourself into right energy. Tony Robbins, great way, exactly. Just when you go for a walk, just listen to some podcasts, guys. Read books. Read books right here. I can even show you right next to me. Look at that right here. Become Supernatural. Personal Trainer Manual. Alex Hormozy, 100 million leads. Literally right next to me, right here, I have a bunch of books that I'm always plugging myself, the energy into them. And I'm always listening to high energy, high vibration podcasts, to people who really inspires me, and I listen to those who I want to become. Never listen to someone who've never done something and they're trying to teach you. Seriously, ever. So, my friends, I hope you got something out of this. Like I said, you are what you consume, the topic of this today's live. And like I said, you have two sides of that, right? Number one is nutrition, and it's really important to consume quality food. It's not only going to help you to feel good, look good, your skin's going to look amazing, and also it's going to help you to reach your fitness goals, to be lean, to be jacked, to build muscle. But also, it's important to what you're consuming as who you're listening to, right? Whether it's like I said, whether it's your circle of friends or what you're watching on internet. Also, it's another one. Are you always watching something that just distracts you, pulls you away from your goals? Or you're listening to something that really motivates you, lifts you up, and gets you closer to your goals? Are you listening to someone who already done it that you want to try to accomplish? That's how you grow. All right, my friend. So I hope you understand. So you are what you consume, and it's really important for both your food and what you're listening, what you're consuming as the information. So let's see what we got here. Is any solid questions? By the logic, we'll be able to millionaire, all be broke. Kung Fu Blast. Okay, so let's see. By that logic, we'll all be millionaires, all be broke. Why is that? I mean, did you hear what I said? If you hang out with two smokers, you'll become one, right? Or if you hang out with the two millionaires, you will become one. So it's all about who you hang out with. And trust me, that will happen. Start to hang out with those people who always do drugs, who always go to clubs, and it's just inevitable that you become one of them. Or start hanging out with people who always want to level up in life, who always reaching for that next level, to always looking for uncomfortable something in their life, who always looking to make more money, and you'll become that person too. That's why creating a right circle around you is super important. So I hope you got the point, because I don't know what the logic was for you, Kung Fu Blast, but I hope I cleared it out. What if you hang out with no one? Great question. It's exactly what I just said before, guys. Also, I don't have a lot of friends, trust me, in life. You start just plugging your energy. You start surround yourself with the right books and with the right people to listen to online. Seriously, that's why, internet is such a great and amazing tool in our century, because you can plug yourself and you can listen to those people who done it before, who made the money that you want to make, who has the physique who you wanted to become, and you can just digest and listen to what they speak through the podcast, through their books. So if you don't have anyone in your life to listen to, start reading books and start listening to podcasts. Like I said, I love listening to Bedros Keuilian podcast and Tony Robbins. Those two people, seriously, every time I plug my energy, I just put my headphones, I listen to them on a daily basis when I go on a walk. That's exactly, I'm feeding out of their energy. I'm feeding out of their wisdom. I'm feeding out the stuff that they learned in the last 20, 30 years through their experience, and they're literally sharing all of that for free on YouTube. That's why YouTube's such an amazing platform. I love YouTube so much because this is a great way you can plug to those people and get their decades, 20, 30 plus years of experience, and literally just feed out of their energy, and you'll become one. Seriously, when you hang out with them, like online, I'm not saying hang out in person, but when you hang out, I consider, those people who I listen to like my friends. And you can do exactly the same with books, like I said, I was showing you that, boom, becoming supernatural right here, this one of the book just right next to me, or Bible, like read Bible, read something that will help you to level up. And that's how I call it my circle of people. Like, yeah, I don't have a lot of friends in life, but I call the books, I call the others, I call the podcast that I listen, I call those my friends, because I plug myself to their energy on a daily basis. Thank you Noah, I appreciate you guys. What if I choose the wrong person to be a friend with? Noah, the great question. Yeah, it happens sometimes. Then when you realize, of course, don't just, if it's really a close friend, try to be there for them and maybe try to dig them out of that hole they maybe they got themselves, whether it's alcohol, drugs, or something else. But if the person just cannot be helped, then I'm sorry, but you have to unplug yourself from them. Seriously, that's just part of life, especially if younger. When you get older, you understand it more, and and you're just focusing on your family usually when you get older. But when you're younger and you have that circle of people, those surroundings, the people they drag you down. They're not helping you there. They're not there for you to cheer you. They're not there to level up with you, but they're just there to to be toxic, to do weird stuff, like I said, drugs, alcohol, go clubs, go out. When you're really trying to level up in life, then it's time to get rid of those people. Unfortunate. Maybe life, will get you back to them when you both get mature. But if at this point of life, those people you see is not serving you, or they're not on the same page that you want to be, then it's just time to disconnect from them. And you have to be mean, say something, but literally just when they ask you out, let's go out or let's go to club, you just say, hey, say no. Seriously, learn how to say no. Seriously, that's a big one. Learn, my friends, how to say no, and that will help you get far in life. Because all successful people, it's not about how many times they say yes. It's all about how many times they learn how to say no to everything that's not serving them. So when you start learning and when you start realizing to say no, it's a proper way to everything that doesn't serve you at your life at this moment. And you always go through the seasons, and for every season in your life, you have to say so many no's, and you only have to say few yes. So if those people doesn't align with your goals right now, then it's time to disconnect, unplug, from their circuit. You just made my day. I appreciate it, Noah. Thank you. Try to fix people. People need to fix themselves. Yeah, I totally agree. Exactly. Like I said, you can always be there, especially if it's a loved ones. I'm not saying completely disconnect, just disappear from them. If it's especially those close people, if it's some kind of friend, then that's a disconnect with no problem. But it's really, really close people to you, whether it's your loved ones, your family member, like really, really close friend. I'm not saying try to fix them. That's not what I meant exactly. So it's a good point, actually. You brought it up. Don't try to fix them, exactly. Because you can help them. You can just be there for them if they need your support, but don't try to fix people. I totally agree with that statement, 120%. Exactly. People need to fix themselves. So don't try to fix people as the question, because a long time ago I was first honored my classmate ask questions. If I don't know the answer, they get mad. Noah was first honored my classmate ask questions. If I don't know the answer, they get mad. That's interesting. That's weird. Why would they get mad? I mean, I don't get it, sorry. Hey, Tristan. That's not cool, Tristan. Yeah. Hi, friends. That's it for today. I hope that was helpful. Like I said, today we talked about what you consume, whether food-wise or information, and I hope that was helpful. Looked like, it was a couple helpful tips for you. And I appreciate, guys, your time spending here with me. I appreciate your feedback, and hope you have the best day of your life. And I'll see you next one. Peace. Yeah, guys, if it was helpful for you, by the way, if it was helpful for you, subscribe here, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one. I appreciate Noah. Really appreciate your feedback. So thank you.